Hi folks, Greg here from Sykes House Farm, still down here at the Tetley in Leeds. Horrible day, but we're in a beautiful venue, so I can't complain really. Valentine's Day just around the corner, obviously. A lot of people will be going out, but I think it's always nice to cook at home. So in the shop at the moment, you may have seen online, we've got some amazing Côte d'Ivoire aging, some up to 60 days, which David's been looking after like little children for the last sort of couple of months. Really amazing pieces of beef. But the other favourite for me at Valentine's time is rack of lamb. So I think it's the ultimate sort of indulgent cut of meat really. It's probably the most sought after piece of meat that we do in terms of lamb. And it's just a really tasty, amazing, really looks really cool, and it's a nice thing to be able to cook at home. So I'll talk you through it. So here we have a rack of lamb that's got 4 bones. Now you could have one of these each, cut into cutlets. There's a really versatile piece of meat really. I'm just going to pan roast it, but you could cut it down there into cutlets. You could cut them into cutlets, then bash them out and breadcrumb them. You could do all sorts with it. It's a really beautiful piece of meat. So it is one of those things though I see on MasterChef or see on telly. I always think people seem to get a little bit scared with it. Personally, I think it's a really straightforward piece of meat to cook, so long as you follow a few rules. This is probably about 350 grams, something like that. So we're going to score the skin very, very lightly. We're not trying to penetrate the meat, we're just trying to give it a nice sort of finish and allow some of that fat to escape. And we're just going to cook it in a pan the whole way, pretty much just finishing it in the oven. So to that we're going to season it both sides, again, bit of sea salt. Make sure you season the ends as well, and a tiny bit of pepper. I've said before, some people don't like to put pepper till the ends. I just tend to put it on at the start, I always have done. We're going to start that in a pan. We've got some thyme and some garlic to go in the pan as well. So if you follow me over, I'll get this in the pan sealing away. In a pan here, it's not a super hot smoky pan, it's sort of over a moderate heat. I sort of treat it almost like I would duck breast in a way. So I just want to sort of start it in there. You can see it's not smoking and going crazy. What we want to do is give it a good 4 or 5 minutes, possibly even more, skin side down, just to start rendering some of that fat out. It is quite a fatty piece of meat. If you don't give it that initial TLC at the start, you can get quite a flabby sort of fatty cut of meat. So what you're doing here is rendering some of that fat out, giving it a nice crispy skip. And we're just going to leave it in the pan, skin side down, just checking it every now and then, but just let it tick along there over medium heat, just crisping up. So this has been in for sort of 2 or 3 minutes now. You can see it's starting to colour up nicely there. I'd still give it another 2 or 3 minutes because it is still a little bit sort of on the flabby side, and you can see how much fat already's come out of that. Now, it is good fat, don't get me wrong, but I do find lamb can be a little bit greasy, so you do want to give it that initial sort of render down. So I'd give it another 2 or 3 minutes. While that's happening, I'm going to stick some garlic and some thyme in there. That's just going to help sort of perfume the lamb as well while it cooks, and it's going to help us with our sauce at the end as well. So we'll give it another 2 or 3 minutes, and then when it goes in the oven, we're going to put some carrots in the pan as well, and I'm going to serve it with some lovely honey roasted carrots and a few other bits and pieces. So we'll just let that come on for now. So if you can have a look now, that's really lovely colour. All that fat's come out. I'm just going to seal the back of it, and then we're going to seal the sides as well. You're allowed to use tongs. And then I'm just going to put that back on the skin. And to that pan I'm going to add some carrots. Now these are boiled carrots. If I'm roasting carrots, I'll always boil them first. I just think you get a much nicer finish. You're not got caramelised on the outside and chewy in the middle. So we've got some nice sort of boiled English carrots there. We're going to put that in the oven. Initially 15 minutes, and then we're going to check it. So anywhere between 15 and 18 minutes should give you a lovely, beautifully pink, not too rare rack of lamb. So we're going to put that in the oven on 175, 180 for about 15 to 18 minutes. Right, so this is our lamb. It's been in for about 18 minutes, this one. It was slightly on the big side. But it's probing to about, I highly recommend getting one of these. This is probing at about 54, 55 degrees, which is somewhere between medium rare and medium. Now I'm going to let that rest for at least 5 minutes so you can see how caramelized and delicious and crispy that fat is. So we're going to let that rest on the side in a little dish. We're going to sort of save any juices that come out of that's going to go into the sauce at the end. So that's going to sit there and rest. Our carrots are lovely and caramelized in the pan there. I don't know if you can see those. But we're just going to add a touch of honey to those. Don't need a great deal. We're going to put those back in the pan. Just a tiny drizzle of honey on there. I'm going to go back into the oven. Just to get a little bit sticky. Get some of that flavour on there. And I'm going to go back in just while the lamb's resting. So we're looking for another sort of 5 or 6 minutes on those. In the meantime, I'll do some vegetables on the side. Now, a little chef hack, as I always pre-do my vegetables. So what we've got here is some sugar snap peas and some broccoli. Now, I blanched those in salted water and then straight into cold water. I did these yesterday. So if you're having dinner on Tuesday, which is Valentine's night, and you don't want to be rushing around last minute, Monday night or even Sunday, get your veg cooked off whatever you want, whether it's broccoli or sprouts or green beans or peas or whatever it might be. Get them blanched off in really salty water, straight into cold water, get them drained and get them into your fridge. So I'm just going to microwave these with a knob of butter and a pinch of sea salt. So last minute they go in the microwave and Bob's your uncle. So we're also serving some honey roasted carrots with it. These are English carrots, nice little ones. If you can go to your sort of greengrocer, these are from Johnson's in Wetherby. Might struggle in some supermarkets to find them with the tops on like that, but it's well worth doing. You know they're super fresh. Peeled down, again boiled in salted water until they're almost cooked through. Get them put aside the day before. And then all they need doing is reheating in the pan when you cook your lamb. I mean, a roasted carrot from scratch probably take 45 minutes. If you can get them boiled off with plenty of seasoning beforehand, you just need to flash them in the pan while you're cooking your lamb. I'm going to save some of the tops for a garnish. I've heard chefs say that you can make pesto and all sorts out of this, but to be honest, don't. It's disgusting. They just don't taste nice, but as a little garnish, just adds a little bit of bitterness and a little bit of character and makes the dish look really nice. But as far as making pesto out of carrot tops, unless you've got 2 Michelin stars, I wouldn't waste your time, to be honest. But if you can buy it with the tops on, it's just a nice point of difference, and you know, a few leaves here and there really add to the presentation of the dish. So just a final little sort of chef touch, really. Done a really sort of smooth and luxurious courgette, spinach and mint puree there. So it's just going to add a little pop of colour to the plate. So puree down, basically really hot salty water. Again, you can make it the day before. Once you've blanched all your vegetables off, put the green of the courgette, some spinach and a handful of mint, blanch them off, drain it off, and then just with a stick blender and a few knobs of butter, you puree it till it's smooth, and you end up with a really lovely kind of nice sort of chefy touch. Loads and loads of flavour in there, and it's just going to add a little bit of freshness to your dish. So I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's really, really bright, vibrant green, and that's just going to finish our dish. Our lamb's been resting for 7 or 8 minutes, and we've got our lovely honey roasted carrots there, sizzling away, nice and caramelised, beautiful and seasoned all the way to the middle, so they can come out. Got our lamb there, which has been resting for 7 or 8 minutes. There's a little bit of juice left in the bowl, so I'm going to add that to our sauce. So we've just got a True Foods lamb gravy there. Again, we sell it in the shop and we sell it online. It's a fantastic product. So that's the, you could go and make a really elaborate lamb sauce. It'd be very, very delicious, I'm sure. But that's just our True Foods lamb gravy that we buy. That's been ticking away nicely there. So now the moment of truth. We just start with the end one. What I find the best thing to do is put the knife against the cutlet like that, against the bone, and just gently carve all the way down. It should naturally fall like that, and you end up with a beautifully pink lamb cutlet. So not too rare. I find medium rare lamb a little bit weird, to be honest. So I don't know if you can see how lovely and pink that is. So that for me is absolutely perfect. So just a plate, a little bit of your courgette puree on the bottom. And we've got our lovely carrots here. A couple of these in all that beautiful glossy colour. Just onto there like that. We've got our fantastic Yorkshire lamb. Now you can give 1 or 2, or we are from Yorkshire, so I might as well give 3. And then, just because we've got some lovely mint and lamb just work so well together, we've got some lovely mint leaves here, fresh as a daisy. You've probably got some growing in your garden, certainly in the summertime. A few little mint leaves, and then a few little carrot tops. Again, don't go crazy with these. They look nice. I wouldn't say the most delightful flavoured thing I've ever had in my life, but they do look nice. And then we've got our True Foods lamb gravy with all our lamb juices. Like I say, we're in Yorkshire, so don't be shy. So there we have Yorkshire lamb cutlets, honey roasted carrots, courgette and mint puree, and then of course our pre-done, nuked in the oven, nice, beautiful, fresh, buttery vegetables on the side to share.